What is your biggest worry for Chapter 5? Honestly, in Toby Fox We Trust, I am not worried in the slightest. Obviously, we all have our fears, but I mean, in Toby Fox We Trust, any fear that you have, surely, is just brushed away with Toby Fox Trust. You gotta trust the man, the genius that is Toby Fox. This guy, Ambitious Cat 5678, his fear is that it only adds more plot points to be answered instead of addressing the existing ones, leaving the last 2 chapters having to wrap up far too much for their own good. Does that remind you of anything, chat? The Boys, the finale of The Boys. It really just wrapped everything up in 2 episodes. Maybe just 1 at the end. You could argue it's just 1. For me, I think Chapter 5 is going to go like this. He's said a million times, it's the sun setting. It's the sun setting. What happens when the sun sets? The night is soon followed. The moon comes to the sky. The night, roaring night. I think something's going to happen that's going to set up a somewhat of like an Avengers Infinity War Chapter 6, followed by an Avengers Endgame Chapter 7. It's going to be cinema. It's going to be peak. It's going to be one last great adventure where you feel fulfilled, you feel like you succeeded, you feel like you just went on an adventure from start to finish and there's an ending. But right at the end, I think it's going to flip just a tiny thing, just like make you put on some glasses and see that Rao says evil. See that Roaring Knight was there the whole time and wanted you to do everything you just did. To see that you were never in control. You were never in control, that he said at the start of the game. We're going to see something that's going to blow our minds and set ourselves up for Chapter 6. Kind of like the Chapter 3 ending where you're like, oh my gosh, what the hell just happened? Undyne's here, what? Like what? Roaring Knight? What? We're going to see something like that. It's going to be absolute cinema. And if you guys don't know, I'm a real big fan of Chapter 3, especially the ending. It is so good. I love it so much. Let's see what other people have to say. This is 100% my big one. Unless Chapters 6 and 7 are massive, there's no way they're going to wrap everything up unless Chapter 5 begins to do so. I don't think that's the case. I think Chapter 6 and 7, you can easily wrap it up. Don't worry there. Don't worry, Pythagoras 314. Toby said that Chapter 6 is easy, so Chapter 7 would have to be the massive 3-hour chapter that takes 5 more years to complete. I see the fear of these people, right? Chapter 6 is easy. Toby Fox said those exact things in the newsletter. That doesn't mean it's going to be a short chapter. Read the next comment. Easy to make does not mean short. Chat, he said in the newsletter, don't worry. Well, he didn't say don't worry, but I'm saying don't worry. He said in the newsletter that in Chapter 5, he did a lot of like laying the groundwork. So when you go into Chapter 6, all that groundwork that he made and all these things that he did, I'm not a game developer, but let's say for example, you customize Undyne's character. You don't need to do that again because you already have Undyne's character customized, if you know what I mean. So it's just a simple drag and drop. Like there's a lot of things that you can just drag and drop from Chapter 5 to 6, and there's a lot of things you can't, but because you've had the experience of making it in Chapter 5, like you don't have to research how to do this or whatever because you kind of know it's in the brain, right? So there's no need to worry. It's all good. One Shot When, random football player, also known as, said, the darkness dominates the light world and this chapter is a bit before this happens. Just like the sunset before the night. So the darkness dominates the light world and this chapter is a bit before this happens. That's my theory. Yes, you're right, the darkness dominates the light world. So maybe, you're right, the sun sets and now darkness is going to dominate. You know, maybe it'll be 8 AM, you're expecting the sun to rise, it's just not there. It's just always dark. The Roaring Night. It's literally the Roaring Night. Maybe there'll be a wolf that roars, who knows? But I'm not worried, bro. Big thing is that we don't know what sort of Chapter 6 is. So far, it's implied that the Shadow Crystal bosses and eggs end at 5. So it could be a chapter that's very straightforward, but moves the plot along rapidly, as far as we know. I don't think it'll be rapidly. I think it will move the plot, Chapter 6. I think it will be correct. Like I said, I think Chapter 6 will be an Avengers Infinity game. Infinity War. Avengers Infinity game. It'll be Avengers Infinity War. Basically the end of the world, as we know it exactly. Any tips? Don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, Jed, what are you talking about? Any tips? I just think Chapter 6 will be Avengers Infinity War. Chapter 7 will be Avengers Endgame. It will be just like that. And Chapter 5 is just basically setting ourselves up for like greatness. And obviously there's going to be greatness, and I think Chapter 5 will be amazing. Like I actually think it'll have its own its own story. It'll be amazing. It'll be like the Avengers Infinity War to the Avengers Infinity War, if that makes any sense. It will set us up for absolute cinema, and I can't wait. But yeah, people are surprised that the eggs end at 5. No one knew about this. Shadow crystals end at 5, but I doubt that means the end of the bonus bosses. There'll probably be some more bonus bosses. I love all these comments. I upvoted all of them because the fear is strong, but like I said, the trust in Toby Fox is stronger. We do not need to be scared, chat. It is all good. In Toby Fox we trust. He knows how to cook. Any fear that I've had during chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, they always get thrown away because Toby Fox said, listen, I see what you wanted to happen, but here's what happened. And isn't it better? Yes, Toby, it's so much better. Oh my gosh, let him cook, chat, so many times. First example I can think of, start chapter 4. Why did we start it the next day? I wanted to be right there at the shelter, but he started it the next day. Play the entirety of chapter 4. Oh, beautiful, cinema. Yeah, we didn't see Undyne, but oh my gosh, that entire chapter was absolute cinema. Okay, fine, Toby. Perfect example of why I let Toby cook, why I trust Toby so much. And even if I don't agree with it, I know the end product from Deltarune Chapter 1 all the way to Chapter 7, I think it will be an absolute masterpiece. Yeah, there could be little nitpicks here and there, but I don't even think there will be, because so far, like I said, in Toby Fox We Trust, everything he's done has been like actually, I couldn't have done better myself. It's actually so good. Anyway, next comment. I'm worried about Rudy. I also really hope we see Papyrus this chapter. Please, I need Papyrus. Honestly, I would really like to see Papyrus too. Rudy, it's going to be kind of scary. What's going to happen to him? But Papyrus, if we don't see him, I know we will see him, so I'm not worried about that. Whether we see him in chapter 5 or chapter 6, doesn't matter to me. Chapter 7, I don't really mind. But seeing him in chapter 5, it does feel like a lot of people were like, please, Toby, I've been waiting for this. This is the time. It feels right. I think it will turn into more annoyance that he's not here yet if we wait until chapter 6. So I'm expecting Papyrus, but if we don't get him, I won't be annoyed. But I can see people being like, come on, Toby, serious, 5 chapters, 10 years, like, come on, bro, come on. We'll probably see Undyne too in this chapter. I do think we'll see Undyne. I think we'll see Papyrus. Maybe he'll be in the shelter already. I don't know what's going on in that shelter, but I think we'll see more than one Dark Fountain. I think it's going to be crazy. It's going to be insane. Crumbling Reality 505 said, I think by chapter 5, some questions really need to be answered. And then he listed off some questions. And I upvoted this post because some of them I agree with, some of them I don't, but they're all worth mentioning. So shout out Crumbling Reality because these are all worth mentioning. What exactly caused the rift in the Dreamer's household? That is something I want to know. Does it need to be mentioned? Not really, but I would really want to know that in this particular chapter. Yeah, we could know in chapter 6. Yeah, we could know in chapter 7. But in this particular chapter, I really want to know. So if it doesn't get announced, like I said in Toby Fox We Trust, but I really want to know this in chapter 5. Carol's connection to Chris. This one, I don't care when we get it. But I do obviously want to know it. The sooner the better. But honestly, Carol, the only thing we know about her is that she's ominous. She's kind of cold. She is the mum and the mayor. She's the mum to Noelle. We don't know much, but she seems like really ominous. Do we want to keep that ominous vibe, or do we want to know a bit more about her? Is it going to be like one of those things where she seems ominous, but she's actually the best and the most like kind-hearted person there ever is? I don't know, but I would love to get a little bit more Carol development, character development for Carol. Always a plus. I look forward to that. The point of shadow crystals. For this one, I think we don't need it. I think we're going to get it, but if we don't get it, I think it won't be the end of the world. But I think we will get the point of the shadow crystals. Really looking forward to that. I can't wait. I think we're gonna that's gonna be the biggest question for me, and I think it's gonna be the biggest answer. It's gonna be what everyone focuses on. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be it's gonna be happening like around the 47-minute in the chapter. I don't know. I'm gonna guess that. The reason we're a sentient human. Are we a human soul inside of Chris? Or we're definitely a soul, a human soul, this person asks. I don't know. I don't really need to know that though. I think we'll know that. That's kind of something you'll know in chapter 7. Yeah, we could know in chapter 5, but in chapter 7, that could be like, yeah, the reason we're a soul is because, I don't know, Flowey or whatever. I don't know. Something like that. Seems like a Flowey reveal for me. I don't feel as though we need that answered in chapter 5. But of course, all these, I would love to know. Why the Knight is even doing what they're doing at all, as opposed to just walking off to the other side of the town and summoning Titans before we can stop them. That's very true, because the Knight is just chilling. The Knight is just there. The Knight is just watching what we're doing. When really and truly, it could just be like rushing off to the next area. Okay, let me open the Dark Fountain here. Rushing over there, open the Dark Fountain there. Making more Dark Fountains than Chris and the gang can deal with. Like Susie maybe has to go in one by herself. And then Rouse has to go into one by himself. And then Chris, they have to go into one by themselves, because the Titan is just opening up all these things, and then you just can't cope. And then why is the Roaring Knight not doing that? I don't know. But that's what's so interesting. Do we need to know? I don't think so in chapter 5, but I do really want to know why the Roaring Knight is doing that. Again, chapter 5, I think will answer that, but do we need to know in chapter 5? In my opinion, no. What is the end goal of the Weird Route? That is something that we could get in chapter 5. A lot of people say the Weird Route ends in chapter 5. I don't know when it will end, but I think the end goal of the Weird Routes, that could be something that's announced. Again, if it isn't announced, I think there'll be a little story progression where you understand that, oh, Chris is doing this to get Noelle to do that. You know what I'm saying? I think we're going to get a little explanation. Not the entire thing, just like a one-sentence explanation. But you don't know what, then it will like, create so many more questions that won't be answered. That's what I think we'll get. I don't think we need it answered. But again, these are such great questions. They end with, we're gonna be 5/7 of the way through the game. And some major questions ought to be answered by then, methinks. I see it. I see all of it. I see that fear. I see that reasoning, and I'm excited. Was there a comment that I missed just then that I upvoted? No. Okay. Next one with the 507 comment. Let's read the next one. Before that, let's read Random Football Player's message. Maybe the Roaring Night worked for someone like Garster. Yes, and is following orders. The Roaring Night, if you think about a night, chat, of course you think about nighttime, you think about the sun setting, the Roaring Night will come then, and the Roaring Night could be the main antagonist, but a knight serves a king. Think about it in chess, there's a king and a queen. Is there going to be an evil, the most evil of evil people, and is the knight working for that person? I think it's only, but, like, it's only guaranteed. Like, there has to be a bigger antagonist that we will receive information on who it is in either chapter 5 or chapter 6. I think we'll get like the big reveal of like, okay, this person's here. Kind of like, I mentioned Stranger Things earlier, Vecna in Stranger Things. We knew about this evil thing in Stranger Things. Then we found out it was called, I'm forgetting the name, but it was like a tornado. Then it was turned into something else. And then it was like an alien before all of that. And then we found out the granddaddy of all of it is a human that turned into an alien sort of thing that got all these powers, and they named it Vecna. I think something will happen where, yeah, the Roaring Knight is the main bad guy right now, but then we find out that the Roaring Knight is actually being controlled by, like, I don't know, a brain controlling person that is like our Vecna for Deltarune, right? I think there will be like a Vecna type character, and I look forward to it. Okay, so here we go. Cherubian666 said, Toby said, it's one last adventure before things get darker, so I'm worried we might not get much plot progression here, but hopefully I'm wrong. Actually, you know, valid fear, but like I said, listen, I think it's not even a hopefully I'm wrong. It's you're gonna be wrong. Like it's confirmed. I know I'm saying and speaking absolutes, and that's only what Sith do. Shout out Star Wars, but really and truly, I think Toby has done so much to make us think that, bro, you should not have fear. Have you not seen me cook so many times? Like, it's gonna be good, trust me. Just let me cook. Just let me cook. Just wait to eat and let me cook. That's what I think Toby is doing. Like, we just need to wait, bro. I understand the fear. I understand there's a lot of plot progression that needs to happen. But at the same time, if it doesn't happen and your fears come true, don't panic. I think Toby Fox knows what he's doing. Agreed. I feel like chapter 3 was a great last fun adventure chapter, and it felt like saying goodbye to the old fantastical tone to serve a darker plot focused one. I'm worried chapter 5 is going to backtrack a little and retreat the ground. Although, not that worried, because it's Toby and I trust him. Exactly. Perfect comment. Sums up everything I've been saying. Yep, it's very, very valid to have all these fears, but at the same time, Toby knows what he's doing, so no need to worry. Shout out Dawn. Anyway, I don't know why, but I always worry the soundtrack won't be as iconic as the other ones, but I'm always proven wrong. Honestly, that comment is so funny because right now we just got, Toby Fox tweeted this in the night, and we reacted to it just before this. This is called The Sunset of Seven Suns. It's a banger. The soundtrack, we don't need to worry about, bro. We don't need to worry about. Jed says, is the 10 minutes done? We are still in YouTube mode, Jed. This has to go to YouTube because this is such a good post. I love the Deltarune subreddit. This is going straight to YouTube, Jed. So, no, the 10 minutes aren't done just yet. I want to talk about this entire post because it's just such, there's nothing to worry about, people. There are no worries. The post is, what is your biggest worry for Deltarune Chapter 5? We can all explain our worries and we can all express them. But at the same time, let's talk about how much faith we have. And that's what I like about people saying that. Because obviously the post is directed to no Rousey development. That is the last one I voted because of, yeah, no Rousey development is a fear. You kind of want some Rousey development. But honestly, I think that is what's going to make the Chapter 5 so amazing. I think Rousey will come out as either like the person controlling the Roaring Knight. I think they'll either come out as, you know, something will happen with Rousey's character to be like a jaw-dropping moment, something that will get you off the edge of your seat and be like, what? Rousey? Are you serious? What just happened? Rousey? you did that. Or it could be like, no, Rouse, no, don't do this to me. Rouse. Like, Rouse could sacrifice themselves and then Noelle joins the party. Like, bro, I don't know what's going to happen. But all I can say is Rouse development needs to happen. That is something I agree. I need Rouse development. If it doesn't happen, of course, in Toby Fox we trust has to be the message I hammer home to you guys. But I need some Rouse development. That is probably the comment I agree with the most. But yeah, in terms of what's your biggest worry for Chapter 5, we went through a lot of them. And for B, no matter what worry you have, that trust of Toby Fox will just brush it away. Because you shouldn't be worried. We should be excited. We should have these worries and keep them in mind. But overall, just be like, there's 2 days remaining, people. 2 days, 3 hours, 47 minutes. It's a time to be excited. It's not a time to be worried. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait. I'll see you then in 2 days. Appreciate you all for watching, and peace.